Alright, I'm going to be going over how to set up SMB scanning on a Windows 8 machine. The computer I'm demoing it on has a Windows 8 Pro 64-bit, and there's several different steps. If you've seen some of our other YouTube videos, the steps are pretty much the same, just getting to them it's a little different. So step one, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a username. And the easiest way of doing this is just from your main desktop, you're going to click on the File Explorer tab. And then you're going to left click on Computer, left click on Open Control Panel, and you're going to scroll down to User Accounts, and you're going to left click on User Accounts. You're going to left click on Manage Another Account. Now you're going to left click on Add a New User in PC Settings. Alright, this is where it differs between Windows 7 and Windows 8. Windows 8 is more of a email address based usernames, but you can add a local user. So that's what we're going to go through right now. We're going to click on the little plus sign here for Add a User. And this is where it's asking you for an email address. We're going to bypass this and set up a local account. I'm going to left click right here where it says sign in without a Microsoft account, and then we're going to click here on local account. And the username and password we're going to use is a standard username and password we use when we set up SMB scanning for all of our customers. The username we use is BizHub, and the password is exclamation point, capital P, lowercase a s s w o r d, exclamation point. And then we're going to type that in again. And again, it's exclamation point, capital P, lowercase a s s w o r d, exclamation point. And then it asks for a password hint, and it's required to put something in there. We typically just put the company name. That way, when our customers see that, they know we added that user for their scanning. But you can enter in whatever you would like. Alright, now we're going to left click on Next, and then left click on Finish. Alright, that concludes setting up a user. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get back to our main desktop. So if you hit your Windows key on your keyboard and then click on Desktop, and that gets you back to your main desktop, and you can go ahead and close out of this window. Alright, in this step we're going to create a folder off the C drive. We typically call it My Scans. You can call it whatever you want, but we're just going to go through the settings that we normally do. After we create the folder, we're going to share it out, and we're going to give BizHub full rights to it. So to start that off, we're going to open up File Explorer again. Then left click on Computer, double left click on C drive. And then we're going to left click on New Folder. We're going to title this My Scans. Alright, and then we're going to click off of it, and then we're going to right click back on My Scans, and we're going to go to Share With, and we're going to click on BizHub. Yes, share this item. Alright, and we're going to right click on it again, and then we're going to go to Properties. We're going to go to Sharing and Advanced Sharing, and then we're going to left click on Permissions, and we're going to left click on Add, and then we're going to type in BizHub here, and then we're going to left click on OK. And then right here we need to give BizHub full control of the folder. Alright, now we need to left click on OK and left click on Close. And we're going to right click on My Scans again and go back up to Share With, and we're going to verify that BizHub was given read and write permissions. In some of the older versions like Vista, the only step you had to do for sharing was this one here. The beginning of Windows 7, this was the only one, and then when the new service pack came out, you had to change the permissions underneath the sharing tab, and now on 8 you have to do the same. So now we're going to left click on Share, and we're going to left click on Done. Alright. Alright, and that's it as far as setting up a folder and sharing it out. Another step that we do typically for our customers is right click on it and go to send to and send it to the desktop. That way it creates a shortcut on the desktop, makes it easier for them to get to it to find their files. Alright, let's go ahead and close out of this window here. Alright, now we've created our username, BizHub. We've shared out our folder, and I gave it BizHub full rights. The last step on the computer side to get everything ready to set up scanning is we're going to have to get the IP address and or host name of the PC you're working on. So in order to do that, you need to bring up command prompt, and on Windows 8 the easiest way to bring up the command prompt is to come over here to the side of your screen, and this little toolbar is going to come up here. If you go up to search, in the search bar for apps, you're just going to type in CMD. There it is right there. Go ahead and left click on that, and now we're going to type in ipconfig space /all, and then we're going to hit enter. Alright, this is going to give you a bunch of useless information for what you're doing, but if you just scroll through here and look through a lot of this, what you're going to be looking for is your host name and your primary IP address, depending on what machine you're setting it up on. Depends on what you're going to need. But right here, the host name. Here's the host name of my computer. And scroll down a little bit here, and here's the IP address of my computer. And you're going to want to write these down because in the next step, setting it up on the machine, you're going to need one or the other. Alright, and we can just leave this open off to the side. That way if you need to refer to it, but you can also write it down. Alright, we've completed all of our steps on the computer side. Creating the username, creating the folder, getting the IP address of the computer. Now what we need to do is we're going to log into the web browser of the copier. And the copier I'm going to be demonstrating this on today is an X658DE. It's a Lexmark. And what I need to do now is I'm going to open up a web browser, and I'm going to type in the IP address of my copier. It is 192.168.1.196, and then I'm going to hit enter. And if you need to find the IP address of your copier, if it's a Lexmark, it's going to be in the upper left hand corner of the screen on your Lexmark, or it's going to be underneath the menu and then the network settings. And you can also find it underneath the print driver, underneath the port section. Alright, so now that we're at the main screen of your copier's interface, we're going to click on Settings, Embedded Solutions, Scan to Network, and left click on Configure. Alright, we're going to add a scan destination, what we're doing here. And we need to add the scan destination. For the name, this is basically the name of the one touch that shows up on the screen. That way you know where it's going. I'm just going to enter in my name here. Alright, for the location address, this is going to be the IP address of your computer. We were talking earlier about IP addresses and host names. The older Lexmarks, for the most part, 99% of the time, you're going to have to use an IP address unless your company is running a true DNS server, and then you can run the host name here. The newer Lexmarks that are coming out, you can use the host name, but my suggestion is first set it up with the IP address, get everything working, verify that it works, and then you can go back in and put in the host name, see if it works. If it works, you can leave it. If not, then put the IP address back in. So I'm going to add the IP address on my computer here, and that is this right here. It's 192.168.1.63. Okay, Okay, and then we also have to add the folder location. So basically we need to add a backslash at the end of that and then type in my scans. Alright, and then we need to scroll down a little bit to authentication options, and we're going to click on use static username and password. Our username is BizDub, and our password is exclamation point, capital P, lowercase a, SS, WORD, exclamation point. Alright, so now at this point we can validate our path, and we should get a green checkbox. There we go. If everything is set right, you'll get a green checkbox. If you're setting this up on an older Lexmark, an XS651 that's running the older firmware, sometimes it still works and it'll still give you a red X. It's just a matter of going up to the screen and testing it. But if you get a green checkbox, it's definitely going to work. Alright, so from here we're going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. We've got our scan settings. I like to set to 300 dpi. It gets a little bit better, crisper image with a low file size, a lot lower than what 600 dpi is going to give you. And you scroll down a little bit more underneath the name. It has to have a name here. This one already has one. It's titled Scan, and basically this is what the file name is going to be. It's going to start with Scan, and then it should have a timestamp at the end of it. Alright, and then we need to uncheck enable basic XML index file, and then we need to left click on OK. There we go, it updated. Alright, for the scan destination, now it has my name here, and from this point we can close out of our web browser, we can close out of our command prompt, we can double click on the My Scans folder and open it up, and now we need to go over to the machine and send a test scan over to the file, and it should show up. Alright, that concludes my video on setting up SMB scanning Windows 8 with a Lexmark.